Hey, so this is gonna be a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Sacred Gold. Sacred Gold is an expansion hack ROM made by prolific ROM hacker Driano, and it basically expands on the original Hard Gold by making it harder, giving 6 Pokemon to each gym leader, and expanding a lot on the encounters. As you can see, changing the level curve and making a few things a bit more linear, which helps to fix the aforementioned level curve. On top of this, I'm going to be using Pichel's patch, and what it does is, on top of the Sacred Gold ROM hack, it kind of speeds it up, as you can see, while keeping the music as usual. And also adds a few features related to Nuzlocking, mostly having 999 rare candies, being able to heal anytime, being able to access the PC anytime, randomizing a few of the free encounters that you get, mostly the initials, the Kanto, Hoenn, and Shino initials that you get, as well as the pseudo-legendary that you would get instead of a Dratini that you normally get in Blackthorn. Without further ado, let's get the starter. This game, I would say, it's basically broken into 3 chunks: the early, mid, and late game. And the objective of the early game is just to get through Bugsy. So everything we're gonna do in the early game is just to get through Bugsy, because the mid game is much easier, and the late game, well, we have a lot more time to prepare for it. We don't need specific encounters yet. So to that end, I'm gonna go with Cyndaquil, who's basically the best option for Bugsy, and also evolves earlier for Faulkner, which is useful nonetheless. We are gonna have so this is a Nuzlocke, obviously, and that means I'm gonna only catch the first encounter in each route. I cannot keep using a Pokemon if it faints, and well, I have to use set mode in battles, and I cannot use items in battle either. Finally, we are gonna use nicknames. There's gonna be a theme for the nicknames, but I'm actually not gonna say it, so like, this is just gonna be something for you to figure out which is the actual, I think it doesn't fit here, which is the actual theme of the nicknames that I'm gonna use it. So you're gonna be Sausage. I wanted to use Hot Sausage, but it doesn't really fit. You'll also see with this patch of the original Sacred Gold, which is, by the way, Sacred Gold is one of the older ROM hacks of Driano, so you'll see, if you compare it to Renegade Platinum, it has a lot less changes over the story in general, and basically just adds better trainers and encounters, and gives you a few free Pokemon here and there. Yeah. By the way, if you can see the rival here looking at the window, but if you actually, they've data mined this, and there's no window if you're at the house. So Pichel's patch also gives you free repellent, and actually I wasn't gonna use it since, well, at this point you don't have, you're not able to buy repellent. So after you take the first batch, you cannot use repellent, but I think in the interest of just us not suffering through it, I'm gonna enable repel for now, because it would be basically impossible for me to die by not being able to flee from an encounter. And as a reminder, even if we got encounters, we cannot catch anything yet. It wouldn't be considered an encounter because we didn't get balls, right? And it is not considered an encounter, at least by my Nuzlocke rules, until you do get Pokeballs. Especially in this game, because you have to go through multiple routes and a city, and Cherry Grove City, without being able to do anything, and without repel normally. So yeah, as I explained, I would think this is broken into 3 blocks as a game. The first one being until Bugsy, the second one being, I think, until Prize plus the main rocket fights in the radio tower, and the last one after that being the late game, basically. So now our objective is just to get encounters that are good against Bugsy, basically. But as I said, we don't get any encounter in Route 30. The reason being that we are gonna get an EV from Cynthia, which is one of the changes in Sacred Gold. So, and that Eevee has as an encounter location this route, so we cannot do anything about it. The Eevee we're gonna get is probably gonna become a Jolteon later, because it is the most, like, basically the most consistent across Faulkner and Baxi, in my opinion, better than Glaceon, because Glaceon is a bit slow, and against either, you can run into problems. Okay, we get an Eevee. And we're gonna see stats for it and Cyndaquil after this. And when we go to the Sprout Tower at the top level, we will see we are able to choose an evolution for Eevee. Not an evolution stone, literally to choose an evolution, because you get items that allow you to evolve into Glaceon and Leafeon as well, and Espeon and Umbreon instantly without having to get friendship up during the day or night. So you are Jolly. Jolly is pretty good. No, I'm wrong about it, right? Jolly. I thought Jolly was minus attack plus speed. It is minus special attack plus speed. Pretty bad. Better in the early game because you get a couple of physical moves, but overall kind of bad. Yeah. For Eevee, we have Calm Nature, which is fine for Jolteon actually. Okay, I'm gonna. So one thing I mentioned is that we have Infinite Red Candy, and the reason for this is, first of all, in Generation 2, there is very little XP, meaning that if we get a couple of KOs, we might have to grind for like literally hours to get a whole team back to the level cap, because another thing I didn't mention is I'll play with level caps. And the level cap for the next fight is, not the next fight, the next gym leader, Faulkner, is 15. But yeah, I'm gonna use Rare Candy because even though you end up having weaker Pokemon, because you don't have EVs, it's just much easier to use everything that you get and to make teams for specific fights, which is kind of the fun of it. And you also cannot be too liberal with the candies, because if you over level, then you cannot use that mon in the next gym. But I'm gonna level to 7 here just for smoothness. So this fight is basically unlosable. But yeah, if I remember correctly, this was minus attack. So. Or minus defense, actually. Might be minus defense. Yeah, I think it was minus defense. Doesn't make a lot of sense for it to be minus attack. And yeah, as I said, we can also just heal anytime. And in this game, there are not real gauntlets. So like no moment that you couldn't technically go back and heal to the last city. So this just really makes things faster without like compromising the integrity of the run. Okay, we now see Lyra. So normally here you would have a catching tutorial, but in Sacred Gold, because it is a hack. If you're able to download it and play it, we assume that you might not need a catching tutorial, which is correct. So we're gonna get our first encounter. Route 29. I think probably I want a bird if possible. Or not. This is not very good, but we dupe out. I think I don't kill with crit. Yeah, now I would. We dupe this out for other routes, I guess. It's not super great for this split, but I think it gets Hustle as an ability in this hack, which is pretty terrible because you might miss moves. So because Hustle increases your attack damage, but decreases your precision. What are you gonna be? I think nothing is a good name. As I said, if you figure out the theme of the nicknames, or if you can get close to it, please leave a comment. Okay, let's look at Ratata. Minus speed F plus attack, guts I think is this guts when it evolves? It can get hustle, guts, or guts, yeah. And then yeah, it'll keep it when it evolves. So this is a guts Ratata. That's actually much better than the alternative in my opinion. Because another thing with this hack is that I can, so I'll show you. With Pichel's patch of Sacred Gold, is that I can just click here and then if I go into the PC, I can give a status effect to a Pokemon. Usually you can do this with wild encounters too. It's just really tedious. So this is just like basically letting you do this without losing your time, which I think makes for much more interesting fights because you can prepare for it in detail without worrying about, hey, I'm gonna lose a lot of time. Like I may just like wing it, and it produces as a result, I think, better fights. Okay, and we do have another encounter up here. There's an item there, but I'm not gonna pick it up because I think it was just a consumable. This is Route 46. And we get another encounter here. There's pretty good stuff during the day. I think there's Numel, Swablu as well. Geodude would be fine for Faulkner, but we want to get it in a later route. Or this, actually did not even remember this was an encounter. But, I mean, psychic types are good in this game. There's a ton of rocket fights, that much of poison types, so. I don't know if I have to check if Spoink is changed. Let me check. What are the changes for Spoink? So it can have thick fat or own tempo. And then Grumpig is not buffed at all. Yeah, it has like a few good moves, I guess. It has like 470, I think, of base stats, Grumpig. They're not a great encounter, but we'll make our best. And it is very cute, at least until it, when it evolves, it stops being cute. No, not this one. Well, Adamant is quite literally the worst nature I could have gotten. Thick Fat at is Thick Fat better than On Tempo? I guess it is better. With a lot of special defense, Thick Fat can be good against Bryce, somewhat. There are very few fire types actually in this game. Trainers have very few. Now, the next encounter actually, I don't want to step on grass. The next encounter is in Cherry Grove City. Because we can fish already. And there we can get, I think, Krabby at night, maybe? But I don't know if during the day we may be able to get it as well. Shouldn't have put Cyndaquil in front. Okay, Krabby. I think Krabby's good. I mean, Magikarp will get it later. Okay. Okay. Oh my, what's going on with natures this run? So another rule I'm gonna play with is that I'm gonna fight optional trainers as well, as long as they are not too out of the way, because otherwise most trainers basically in this game are optional, which is not very fun if I'm not fighting anything. And this Rattata, by the way, if you don't, so usually I would level up in the grass. If I wasn't using Rare Candy, I would level up in the grass before this fight, because this Rattata is level 7, and if he crits you with a quick attack, he can one-shot a level 5 Cyndaquil, and I know this because it's happened to me before. We're gonna put Eevee in front now. Because I don't want to get crit and die. That wasn't great. I mean, I was dead to crit. So you can see what I mean. But yeah, this one is also skippable, but we're not gonna skip it. Badu. Okay, Adamant. Cyndaquil, so I would expect a bit of damage on physical moves. Also, I think I failed to mention this, but Sacred Gold, another one of the features that it has is that there's a bit of rebalancing, at least in this version of the hack ROM. So a lot of basically everyone has a few different moves in the learn set. Maybe not that they didn't learn before, but they learned them earlier, for example, and some are new. And then some Pokemon also have stats changes, but mostly it's trying to bring up those that were already weak. I don't remember how Bide works. Is he gonna attack next turn? Let me search this. Because if I remember correctly, he's faster or this has priority, and I never remember. And I've died to Bide before. Yeah, Bide has priority +1, and it bypasses accuracy checks. So this is priority. 2-3 terms chosen randomly, so he can attack next turn. I have 28 HP here. Can I look at summaries? Defense 14, which is my best bet here. Defense 12, that should be stronger. Defense 13, I think Bacon is the bulkiest guy out here. Well, I mean, good on me, I think. Good head calc. Oh, another rule that I also didn't mention. I'm not gonna do calcs because I think this dies weak attack 100%. I'm not gonna do calcs just because I don't want to. I think, yeah, at any point in the fight. So that should be fun. But I mean, you can see my head calcs are pretty good. And until someone dies. Because this is like a lot of XP. This has adaptability, David. So yeah, I mean that was a crit, but Tackle does more damage than Bite for neutral hits. I mean, sure. I have no complaints. I mean, infatuated, I think I can stay one turn for sure. I'm not dead to crit, so I stay in. Cool. Okay, so upwards and onwards, we now get our next encounter. We get 2 encounters. We get the Route 31 one here, and we get one in the this was Dark Cave, right? Yep. What do I wanna have in front? I think Bacon is like pretty tanky, should be good. So let's see if we get something good for Bugsy. Maybe a flying type. Do I have the Rebel on? Yep. Natu. This is not great. I mean, it is a flying type, but neutral for Bugsy, and I already had a psychic type. I think this doesn't die to crit, right? Yeah, not even close. Pretty please. Okay. didn't think of a nickname for this, honestly. I just didn't even think that we'd get it. Okay, let's check you out. Docile is neutral nature. Early bird. Early bird is not too bad. Do you keep early bird or does it change? Synchronize or early bird. And Shadow has higher special attack, special defense. No, higher special attack and speed, so 100 and 100. Not bad. Kind of usable. Not super usable, but somewhat usable. Okay, and we're gonna get something in Dark Cave. Dark Cave has a lot of good possibilities. You can even get Larvitar. I think you can get Evil. But you can also most likely get Subat, which is good against Baxi, so I can't really complain. Okay, Geodude. Geodude is also good against Baxi. The only bad thing is that, well, not bad thing, but usually you would get Geodude by Rock Smashing after Faulkner in the Unknown Ruins, but if you already have it, we can ensure we get Nosepass if we want, or we delay the Unknown Ruins, because getting Unknown is not an option, even though Unknown is buffed in this game. It is just still really bad. Okay, you're gonna be... What are you gonna be? You're pretty hard, right? So I have a name for you. This is Timid. Pretty bad as well. Yeah, it's one of the worst ones we could have gotten because he's still too slow to do anything. Rockhead. Can you get anything else apart from Rockhead normally? You can get Rockhead or Sturdy. I guess Rockhead is better. And you keep Rockhead when you become Golem, which you can get without trading here, because there's an item called Covenant Orb. Okay, I mean, pretty bad Geodude, but it's there, and we're... Actually, I'm probably gonna get it, because it's also good for Faulkner. We are gonna get rid of probably... it's all pretty fine, I guess. I don't want not to. No. I already have Spoink. It's much cuter. No, this is not an encounter, right? That would have been a good encounter if you get to catch it, but it will always try to teleport. Yep. Yep. Spinarak. Okay. Okay, brother, no need to... Like, no need for whatever the hell that was. I should have leveled higher, probably. But, I don't die to crit. What's higher damage? I always forget Tackle's base damage, because obviously I never use it in competitive, right? This is 50? This is 40. Okay, Tackle was 50. So let's Tackle first. Good. That might actually be decent. End up being decent because with Guts, well, the early game is actually pretty good. I think I could die to self-hit plus crit. I'm gonna go to Eevee. Lediba is also buffed in this game, if I remember correctly. Like, Ledian hits pretty hard. And I'm also banning... I don't think I can get it anymore, but I am banning Shedinja on account of making the game really boring if you play with it. And I think we don't have any more trainers. Yeah, we just have Faulkner now in the next split. Well, at the end of this split, basically. And now we are gonna get the first, one of the first actual like routing decisions, I guess. Which is we could get a Kanto starter in Violet City. So it's one of the changes in Sacred Gold. So we can get a Kanto starter or just fish. So I'll just look at encounters probably and we decide. We would get a random Kanto encounter. Normally in Sacred Gold it is not random, but in Pichel's patch, which is what I'm playing, it is random. Because otherwise it is very easy to like get some guaranteed encounters that make your team quite consistent, and the game is already not that hard, I guess. This guy before it would ask you for shards to get berries, but now it just gives it to you in Pichel's patch. But I'm not gonna use them for Faulkner because normally to get shards you would need to use Rock Smash, and to use Rock Smash you need to defeat Faulkner. So basically I would be able to get this normally just by farming Rock Smash, but since I need to defeat Faulkner first, I'm not gonna use it until I defeat him. So yeah, basically we can get a random Kanto starter. The other options, if I look at the encounters in Violet City, are so you have, with the old rod, we could get Magikarp, Poliwag, or Staryu, which are all decent. But I think in the spirit of just like doing the stuff that is special for the Hackrom, I'm gonna get a starter. Okay, I was right. Charmander. Good. I think the second, not that good really when you think about it. Docile, so neutral. Solar Power. You can have Solar Power or Blaze. Solar Power, pretty hard to use unless we get a Vulpix with Drought. Because I think there are no trainers with Sunny Day, or like almost none. So we have Sprout Tower, which is the next thing we have to do. And after that we go to Faulkner. There are two more routes that are available basically. Which is this one and then the Unknown Ruins. Unknown Ruins we can only get Rock Smash after Faulkner. So basically we have one encounter here now. Let's see what we get. Mareep. Mareep is good for Faulkner actually. And for Bugsy can be good as well. Level 11. I should have 100% leveled up with Candy. Cool stuff. Okay, so that's all encounters save for Sprout Tower. So let's look at our PC and see what we're gonna bring to Sprout Tower itself. Mareep, what? No, sorry. What are you? Powerful nature, so minus special attacks, so really, really bad again. And static. Static is good. I think I'm gonna put this, because there's a couple of flying types. I think I'm gonna put this in the team. I think I'm gonna leave it here for now. And next time we'll just level up everyone a little bit and take on the Bellsprout Tower. And get ready for Faulkner. So, yeah, see ya.